Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one, the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Today's a special day. Today's a real special day. A damn good day. At that. Let me go ahead. Let's start off how we always do. We got us, a little shot of rum. We always got to start off with that shot of rum, right? Here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Just so everyone knows, this is how fantasy friendly is the Cincinnati Bengals edition. So how fantasy friendly are they? How fantasy friendly, are the Cincinnati Bengals going to be this upcoming season? We're going to get into fantasy outlooks for these players for this specific team. For this specific team and this team only. Um, this episode is brought to you by Milk and Honey, TXCBD. So make sure you guys go check out Milk and Honey. Their sports cream is amazing. Upon first application, if you're injured, if you're an athlete like I am, you're working out, and you get soreness, you get stiffness, maybe just age is starting to wear on you and get to you. Milk and Honey TX, that's the topical that you need to get your body feeling right and get you back out there in peak performance. This episode is also brought to you by a brand new partner affiliate of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. And you guys may have heard of them before, and that is no other than the one, the only Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight has joined the Rumboyz Fantasy Network family. We're going to have details coming to you guys soon. So, coming soon. Be on the lookout. We are going to get you guys all set up. Don't worry about creating an account just yet. I'm going to have all of that stuff for you guys. So make sure that you're on the lookout for Monkey Knife Fight promo code and all the great benefits and perks that are going to come with being a Rumboyz member, a Rumboyz.com user on Monkey Knife Fight. What the? I fucking love it. Monkey Knife Fight, give me money! Yo, cheers to me, cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Dilly dilly. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to get into this special, this breakdown. This is going to be live streamed first over on sportscaster.com. Make sure you download the Sportscaster app on all iOS devices. And yeah, this is also going to be premiering on Rumboyz.com and the Rumboyz Fantasy Network YouTube page tonight as well. So make sure you guys leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, spike the like, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. Cheers to me, cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Dilly dilly. So the Cincinnati Bengals. So first off, this team last year they weren't off to a hot start. They weren't one of the best teams. They weren't what we thought. They weren't what we thought or what we expected that they were. What they were going to be. Actually, we all expected they were going to be a fucking dumpster fire. The second that AJ Green went down during the preseason at the beginning of practice. Anyways, so there's that. Now, secondly, the second thing that I want to get into is there's now no longer Andy Dalton in town. So they don't have Andy Dalton in town anymore. It is clearly going to be a new quarterback under center. And the quarterback under center is not going to be the guy that the Rumboyz had interviewed from 2019. Nope. With the 101 pick in this year's NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals went out there drafted themselves a quarterback, no other than the likes of the hometown kid, Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow, he makes his way to Cincinnati at the 101 pick out of LSU. Go Burrow. He's going to be donning that number 9. He's coming in at 6'4", 216. Um, I want to go ahead and start this off like this. Okay. He is 45.3% roster currently in fantasy football, and that is up on fantasy football rosters right now. That is up 7.2% over the last 7 days. Okay, so clearly this is a guy that you have to go and get, and I am definitely telling people to go and get Joe Burrow in dynasty formats. Um, if you are in a dynasty league, your rookie draft is coming up. Go and get him. Especially if you did not go quarterback heavy, um, in your early rounds. Let's say, you may have ended up in maybe the back end. At the end of the QB run, where you just got victimized by the QB run. Guys started stacking QBs, and you're like, oh shit. I'm in a 2 QB league. Who am I gonna get? Or I'm I'm in this dynasty league. Who am I gonna get to build up my team, build up my dynasty? And Joe Burrow, he's gonna be able to go out there and he's gonna be able to do just that for you. As we take a sip of the beer here. The LSU product completed 76 of his passes, and off target, registered as an off target on 7.7% of his throws, a 94.9 total QBR in college, 368 rushing yards, five TDs. It's definitely fantasy upside. It shows that the guy can move with his legs. So I like that 5 TDs off the ground, not through the air. Of course, I like that. You can perform, as many people in the fantasy industry like to call it, a human cheat code. Anytime that a quarterback can get out there and move and groove. In redraft, definitely, I don't think that you. I think maybe you can hold off. Like if you're in a single QB league redraft style, maybe you hold off on going to get you Joe Burrow, the Ohio Wonder, the Ohio Kid. In Dynasty, he should be rostered in every league possible. In Dynasty upcoming this year. I get that we don't have ADP for a lot of these guys right now. We probably won't get that maybe for a couple more months here. Um, it does look like we are going to have an NFL season. So I'm excited to see this kid take the field. Um, but Joe Burrow, roster him. Let's talk about his arm really quick. 1 second. Uno minuto. I'ma just make sure we got some stats here that we can go off of. Let's go to Sports Reference. I really want to just key in on the LSU year. Like no one gives a damn about his time at Ohio State. No slight to Ohio State. Shout out to Chase Young joining my Redskins. Um, but yeah. So 15 games played his senior year. 402 completions on 527 attempts. With oh my gosh, that completion percentage, 76.3. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. 2016 in his 5 games played, 78.6. Just such a small sample size. That's the last time that he was at that number. Even then that was 22 completions on 28 attempts. So it just seems like this guy just throws such an accurate ball for your receivers. He's gonna be on the money. Yards per attempt, 10.8. He threw for 5,671 yards. If he's not gonna do that in the NFL because just defenses are significantly that much more better. Significantly, you're now playing against world class athletes at this point. We're playing against grown men. You're playing against fucking grown men. So I mean, there's that. Um, 60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. If he could throw I guess if he could throw like what 30 40 touchdowns somewhere in there, maybe 13 13 interceptions, 10 interceptions, 13 interceptions, like because those interception numbers are definitely going to go up in the NFL. Those interceptions are definitely going to go up in the NFL, especially when you don't have chemistry with these guys. This is a new system, in essence, of you working with Zach Taylor. So I'm not completely. I'm sold on Burrow. Like I said, in dynasty formats, I think he definitely needs to be picked up everywhere. Uh, QB2 formats, two QB formats. I'm sorry, two QB formats. Definitely go in and pick the man up. Uh, but you don't really need to worry about anything outside of that. You're not going out to get Joe Burrow to start. All right, is what I'm stating. Like you're gonna go and you're gonna go get Drew Brees. Like you're gonna go fucking pick Ryan Tannehill like over Joe Burrow. You know, especially if you're in a money league. Like if you're in a money league, you're not gambling. You're not gambling with what's on the line. So we talked about the big arm. We talked about what he could do on the ground with his legs. Let's go ahead and let's get into the receiving core that Joe Burrow's going to be operating with and see how fantasy friendly they are. And at the end of this special, I just want to let everyone know I'm going to composite like a whole total grade together for this team in terms of just fantasy friendliness. The fuck did I come up with that at? Next player. AJ freaking Green. Yo. So growing up, I was such a huge AJ Green fan. Last time that we saw him, so first, the man has multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2017, 6,000-yard receiving yard seasons since he has been in the league. That is fucking phenomenal. I love that just within itself, and I think having a guy like Joe Burrow is gonna help him. And he also is showing some optimism, and he's always saying that he wants to be a Cincinnati Bengal for his whole career. And he shows some optimism about a young receiver who we're going to talk about later in this special, that he's looking forward to mentoring. And I think having that rookie on the roster, I don't think AJ Green is going to put up another fucking 1,000-yard season in a long time. Like that's just not going to happen, you know. It's just not a thing. I mean, but over his career, 8,907 yards. You're not going to reach for this guy like in the early rounds. I think even like my Masters Invitational League. Let me check. I mean, I don't think that AJ Green was like the hot commodity to go off the board. I believe he went fairly late. So in a Masters Invitational, so which is 50 rounds, 50-50 offense and IDP. So we're picking pretty much a full fucking team. AJ Green did not go until I can't even see where until where he went. But I know that it wasn't fucking high. Maybe it was high. Maybe I'm just looking too low. Look, point be it, I don't think that AJ Green he's gonna have another 1,000-yard season at any given point, anytime soon. Fuck that. I'm looking for this now. I'm about to go through all 12 of these teams until I see where the hell AJ Green is picked. Because I know that he was picked. And in this league, if he went late. Okay, yeah. So he went at the 10-8. He went at the 10-8 in this league. So if you buy him at the 10-8 in the league, let's go check out the mock all night league. Let's go check out the mock all night league and see what happened there. Let's see. We're gonna look up AJ Green. And in this league, he went to John's team from For the Love of Sundays. Look, anyways, look, the point blank, the guy is going low. The guy is going low. Nobody is in a rush to go and get to go and get AJ Green. Um, by any means by any means necessary. Um, if you get him, just hope that he stays healthy. He's gonna hopefully do something good. He's had 3 seasons with double digit touchdowns: 2012, 2013, and 2015. Last time we saw this man play was 2018, to be honest. Um, I'm avoiding AJ Green. I'm not trying to get him. I don't like if he falls to me from rounds like 8 through 10. Like if he falls to me rounds 8 through 10, I'd be cool with that. Like I'd be all right with that. Look, now I'm curious about where what round he went. See, he went sixth round in the mock all night league, and that's just a regular fucking redraft. PPR scoring redraft. So I mean, AJ Green's a big giant fucking toss up. I'm not really digging the pickup there. Uh, let's get into someone that is actually gonna probably hit on this team, and that is gonna be mentored by AJ Green. If you get mentored by AJ Green the way that Chad Johnson mentored AJ Green, you're gonna probably be in for a good career and a nice little run. And that's T. Higgins. So we talked about him on our Rumboyz Fantasy Network wide receiver rankings when I ranked my top 12 wide receivers. And I also featured on the Fantasy Coaches podcast, and I talked about T. Higgins. T. Higgins is an absolute fucking beast. Standing at 6'4", 215 pounds. They got him in the second round with the 33rd overall pick. I like T. Higgins. 6.8% roster. He's up 1.8%, which means that's only going off of over the last 7 days. He's up 1.8%. That's purely just off of dynasty leagues. That tells me that people are starting to look at T. Higgins a little bit more. And what that's telling me is people are maybe even trying to see if they can get a Burrow Higgins stack. Maybe there's a small sample size of people out there that in their rookie drafts are trading to be able to stack the two. So they have them as a future stack later. Now I don't agree with the theory, and I don't know if that's something I would necessarily do. Maybe not in a rookie draft. But I mean, 6.8% rostered currently before we're really like into draft season. I mean, anyone that's drafting right now, they're purely drafting for dynasty leagues and those 30-round leagues, 50-round leagues, where you may have some IDP involved. You may have a deep bench involved, so on and so forth. A separate rookie draft involved. But with this kid here, the catch radius that he has, the ball skills that he has, being mentored by AJ Green, I absolutely love it. I want to see. I think they line him up in the slot, and I know what many people are thinking. Oh well, what about Auden Tate? I mean, he has some flashes. Auden Tate's not even gonna be featured in this special. Honorable mention, but he's not even gonna be featured in this. T Higgins is the future of the wide receiver core in Cincinnati. Um, Even in regular standard redraft, like I've been seeing a lot of these rookies in mocks going stupid late. And I know that's going to change with ADP when we get official ADP. So I get that. I 100% get that. Um, that we don't have current to date ADP. But god damn, if like I said, if I'm in Dynasty, this is the guy that I'm willing to have. This is the guy that I'm willing to grab. You know, him, Justin Jefferson. That's another kid that I think that is really gonna just have a high ceiling in the NFL with the quarterback like Kirk Cousins throwing to him. I knew I said that we weren't gonna talk about other teams in this special, but I mean just to give you guys an idea of where some of these kids got drafted at and how well I think they're going to transfer over into their rookie year into the NFL. I just think those are two kids that in drafts right now, in way too early drafts right now, people are overlooking. Um, Everyone's going for CeeDee Lamb. Everyone's going for Jerry Jeudy. Everyone's going for fucking Henry Ruggs. Like there's hype around Henry Ruggs, and I just pray that Henry Ruggs doesn't turn out like a receiver that we're going to talk about it later in this episode, and he turns out more like a receiver who I have him compared to in Tyreek Hill. But that's a different show for that's a show for when we talk about the Vegas Raiders. When we get to Vegas, baby, win, 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 bye, win, 16-0, baby. When we get into Gruden's grinders and we get to how fantasy friendly the Raiders are gonna be, that'll be something for them. Shout out to Annabelle, Hockey Girl, Panther Princess, all diving in here on Sportscaster for this live event. YouTube, you guys are gonna get this via upload. We're gonna start working on our upload game. You dig? You dig? Let's go ahead and talk about Tyler Boyd. I think I touched enough on T. Higgins. Maybe you don't end up with them in redraft, but you definitely need to be looking at Higgins. I think he's gonna ball. So 2016 second round pick Tyler Boyd. He tied for 25th in 2019. He tied for 25th with receiving yards. And actually tied for 11th in receptions. So 11th in receptions with 90 and 1,046 receiving yards, right? He had 5 touchdowns, which made him 42nd in the NFL, but we can attribute that stat to probably, the Bengals get in the red zone and just wanted to go Joe Mixon, a variable of different things. 11.6 average, which ranked him among 76 among wide receivers in the NFL last year. So he averaged about 11.6 yards per catch, which I like a whole lot. I have no problems with you going to get Tyler Boyd. Like all the evidence is there that supports for you to go and get Tyler Boyd based off of last year's production. Last year's production and 2018's production. So I think that Tyler Boyd's production is just gonna kind of stay that way. Whereas AJ Green's an old man on the team that's kind of on the decline. So no matter what the format is, you should kind of maybe be fading Green, going after Tyler Boyd, maybe raising more stock in T. Higgins, because when we look at historically with these wide receivers on the Cincinnati Bengals, AJ Green, he comes in, boom, he comes onto the scene and bursts onto the scene, 1,000-yard season, 1,000-yard season, 1,000-yard season, 1,000-yard season, 1,000-yard season. he doesn't have a 900-yard season, 964 yards until 2016. Then boom, 1,000-yard season. Then he got hurt in 2018. Like there's just they're not gonna feed both these guys to 1,000-yard seasons. But if I had to go off of who maybe I want to go with a little bit more to trust to get that wow, it's gonna be TB. It's gonna be Tyler Boyd. 7 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 7 touchdowns or 7 catches only in one fucking season would be pretty bad, right? 7 touchdowns in 2018, like I mentioned earlier, 5 in 2019. So I mean, not a big touchdown artist for you guys out there, but I mean, you shouldn't be playing in standard fucking leagues anyways, and be having to be touchdown dependent anyways. Like you should be playing with the big boys, and needing yards for real. You want to bid off of every phase of the game whenever we play fantasy football. That's my breakdown on. Whoa, that's my breakdown on Tyler Boyd for you guys out there. Give me 1 second. I need to scroll back up, and then let's get into John Ross. So John Ross, who I mentioned that I did not want the homie Henry Ruggs to end up like. John Ross is unique. I mean, first round pick in 2017 with the 9 overall, and you just kind of wonder whenever we look at John Ross the third, Mr. Number 11. Like, when are you gonna finally break out? Like, when are you finally gonna break out? And I just personally don't think that he is. Like, I just don't think that he is. Like, when you have a veteran like AJ Green, when you have Tyler Boyd, who's definitely clearly solidified himself in his last 2 seasons and shown like, bro, I can fucking ball. It doesn't matter that I'm in a shitty ass city like Cincinnati. No disrespect from anyone from Cincinnati. No disrespect from anyone from Cincinnati. Or to anyone that's a Bengals fan. It's just because your football record. Look, you get it, okay? Don't be sensitive. Anyways, I'm fading John Ross. I don't want John Ross. John Ross, he's got that Corey Davis syndrome. Like he's just one of those guys when like you're picking in fantasy and you're watching amongst your draft board, and let's say you're drafting from your phone, right, or your tablet, and you're just watching the screen. And you're like, nope, I'm gonna pass. Let me just skip over him, and I'm gonna click here. He's just one of those guys that you're just gonna always pass over. You're gonna skip over. He's ranked way too high in way too early ADP. Well, I mean, I guess ending of last year's ADP. When real ADP comes out, he's gonna be dropped. Nobody's gonna want this kid. Nobody's on the lookout for John Ross III. I'm damn sure not. 506 yards last year. I get that on a really, depleted offense. Really kind of first year fucked up offense underneath Zach Taylor. There's options on this team. Like, I would take AJ Green, who I said, went in a 10-8 and then went in like the 6th round for the love of Sundays, than me go after a John Ross. He's just not the guy on the team. I don't think he sees any snaps this year. I think Auden Tate might even be a better like NFL receiver than him, just in like some of the film that I've seen. Just me, and just also like off of what Auden has done when he's came in off of waivers for me. So I don't know. Maybe that's just the waiver wire love, and I'm just shitting on Ross way too hard. There's gonna be someone that's gonna comment on this. They're gonna be like, "Fuck you for your John Ross take," and I'm gonna be like, "Well, oh well, live with it." Let's get into our running game. All right. Now, Joe Mixon here. we all know that I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a Mixon truther. There are fantasy football Mixon truthers out there. Mixon's not going out there and winning championships, bro. Like, if you likely take Mixon, so Mixon is the only Bengal that you're gonna take in like the first or second round. He's hands down going to land on your roster because he was ninth in the NFL last year in rushing yards. He did tie fifth in attempts with 278 attempts, but the touchdowns just aren't there, and they try and use him in that scenario, and it's just like, don't, just don't, Cincinnati. He has backs like fucking Rodney Anderson and Gio Bernard backing him up, dude. Gio, freaking Gio. Gio's been in the goddamn league so long. Gio's been a career backup his whole life. He's been a career backup his whole life. He's never had this starting job. Ever. Like, didn't he start behind like Cedric Benson? Joe Mixon is a solidified workhorse, and you do want workhorse backs. In that offense, he is going to hands down get the majority of the touches. I know they got Jaquez Patrick. Joe Mixon is going to be the guy. Will be the guy in Cincinnati for years to come. So I have no problems with people going to get shares of Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon just ain't never won me a championship. And I've seen Joe Mixon fail a lot of people. And from an outsider looking in, I'm not going to get. I'm fading Mixon. I'm fading Mixon. Like, I would have to have a damn good combination of players to have him rostered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have to have like Christian McCaffrey and Joe Mixon. Okay, cool, baby. Let's go get us a fantasy championship now. Like, I could see that. Like, I could do that. All right, I got Saquon Barkley and Mixon. I got Ezekiel Elliott and Mixon. Cool. You know, but I mean, if Mixon's gonna end up as my RB2, like if I've already drafted in the first round and it comes back around to me in the second, I might in the second. I'm gonna go Austin Eckler over Mixon. I'm gonna go Kenyon Drake over Mixon. You know, just because Kenyon Drake's new situation in Arizona. I'm a bank on Chris Carson. Pray that he's healthy. Just because I know Seattle's gonna run the ball. I know Seattle's gonna run the damn ball. So I mean that's something there. Let's see here. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a guy that I'm going to take over Mixon. Josh Jacobs, for damn sure. I'm going to take Josh Jacobs over Mixon. I would go with the wide receiver at that point over Mixon. There's plenty of talent at the wide receiver position. And I'd probably worry about running back maybe in the third round. And I'm the running back heavy preacher. They have put a lot of 278 attempts last season. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So, I mean, you have Mixon truthers in fantasy football. You have Mixon haters in fantasy football. And I guess I'm just more along the lines of a Mixon hater. And I'll be that. But he is probably the most fantasy viable option throughout the first two rounds in terms of this team. And he is probably the piece of this team that does get them at the end of this special a better fantasy football grade in terms of fantasy friendliness. I need to come up with something fucking better. Rate him on the rum scale. I'm gonna rate him on the rum scale. We'll rate him on the rum scale. We're gonna do that. Um, but yeah, I think that I would try and weasel my way around that. And if he were to so go ahead and pop off and be a great running back this season in the 2020 season, I'll take being wrong there. I'll take being wrong, and I'll take the mixing truthers being like, yeah, we finally did it in our 4th year of him being on the goddamn field. 1,000-yard seasons back to back. 1,000-yard seasons back to back. I ain't hating. I ain't hating. Let's talk about the Bengals tight end situation, how fantasy football friendly that is. Their running game's the most fantasy football friendly thing that we can solidify early, and I love Joe Burrow. Let's talk about positive takeaways. You can't get Mixon in the first 2 rounds, but there are running backs that I probably try and see if I could maybe get above him. Absolutely love Joe Burrow in dynasty formats and 2 QB formats. Redraft, it's a long shot, but if you're going to QB late, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. AJ Brown's going to mentor T. Higgins. I'm really high on T. Higgins, and I think that more people should look at T. Higgins in the rookie draft. And I think that T. Higgins is definitely going to produce, especially being mentored by A.J. Green. We are still skeptical about A.J. Green and his return, but I mean, if A.J. Green's back healthy, hell, you just got a possibly top tier receiver. Got you a top tier receiver, possibly really late and dirt cheap, like the value, Just if you buy on him late and he ends up hitting on you, that's more power to you. Tyler Boyd is definitely an option, and fuck John Ross. Let's get into these 2 tight ends. So I don't know how often the Bengals are going to line up in 12s, okay? I don't know how often they'll line up in 2 tight ends. So I don't know how often these 2 are honestly going to eat into each other. And in all honesty, it doesn't appear that they're going to eat into each other really, honestly, at all. Drew Sample, who they drafted, who the Cincinnati Bengals drafted last year in the 2nd round with the 52nd overall. Because Tyler Eifert, he's down in Jacksonville now. Tyler Eifert, he's in Jacksonville. Hopefully he can get something going down there. So it is Drew Sample and C.J. Uzomah, who they are literally looking at and leaning on. And who out of the 2 are really going to pop off? I don't really know. 5 receptions and 30 yards and no touchdowns for Drew Sample. He's more of a blocking tight end. So that's all that we really have to say there about Drew Sample. C.J. Uzomah, guess it's a little bit better. It's been in the league since 2015 as a 5th round pick, and last year 27 receptions, 242 yards, 2 TDs. Over his whole career, 1,011 yards on 158 targets across his whole career. He's had 7 touchdowns. I mean, I get some people are like, oh, well, it takes tight ends a little bit of time in the league to, really break through their ceiling. Look, fuck no. Not with these guys. Not with these 2. The Bengals have some questions to answer in terms of the tight end position at fantasy football, and they ain't getting solved with either of these guys. So I do not think that the Bengals are fantasy friendly at the tight end position. Um, which now gets me into just how fantasy friendly overall are the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So I just reviewed, kind of the receiving core, and how I feel about those guys. I mean, the receiving core of this offense has the most upside, but at the end of the day, there's honestly and wholeheartedly a whole lot of questions, like a lot of questions that aren't going to be answered until we see these guys get on the field. So there's not like a whole lot of concrete evidence that we're going to be able to get into right now at this given time, and especially because coronavirus and it being prevalent, fuck, in our society right now. Um, so I mean, there's that. So we're not able to see OTAs. We're not able to see how these guys are getting along, behind the scenes. We don't have Hard Knocks this year. I'm just going to assume that we're not going to have a season of Hard Knocks because there's no way they can do OTAs. Like, what are you going to do? Hire a bunch of camera crews, HBO, and send one individual camera person to each person's house? Stupid. No. I'm sure HBO has smart enough people to figure out a way to do Hard Knocks. But anyways, this team wouldn't be the team featured on Hard Knocks. But a lot of questions, big question marks. How is Joe Burrow going to transfer over into the league? I mean, they're clearly turning the reins over to him and not Ryan Finley, Red Rocket, as I like to call him, Red Rocket Part 2. He's definitely not the guy. It's definitely Go Burrow up in Houday, Cincinnati. But I still say that you gotta grab him because they're gonna develop him. He's gonna develop at some point. And I just think that he'll transition a lot better into the NFL than my own quarterback, Dwayne fucking Haskins. Whereas we need to wait on the second year of that to see how that develops. Like I think he's gonna come in his first year and he's actually gonna do pretty decent. You're working with a veteran like AJ Green. Tyler Boyd, his numbers have always been solidified. Somebody's numbers on this team are going to be heavily inflated. Clearly, the running game is just a running game, and Mixon is Mixon. In terms of how fantasy friendly that I would grade this offense as a total, let's get into this team. Drum roll, please. Cincinnati. I give you a D plus. It's a D plus. I give the Cincinnati Bengals a D plus because there's upside, but there's just too many question marks. There's just too much that's unanswered right now. C minus at best. We'll go C minus. We'll go C minus. If there are absolutely two pieces of this offense that you can draft, and you're gonna draft them, you're gonna be looking like, they're on the Bengals. You're like, I feel good about some of their stats, and that's gonna be Tyler Boyd, and that's gonna be Joe Mixon. They're the more solidified pickups here. Everyone else, we're kind of just wondering, AJ Green, you're coming off of an injury. How are you going to do? How do you do, good sir? How do you do? So there's a big question mark. We then, the whole tight end situation between Drew Sample and CJ Uzomah, that's a tight end wasteland right there that I just don't want to get involved in any of my drafts. So then let's continue on. John Ross, completely unproven, especially as a first-round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. If your first-round pick ain't working out for you in real life, I ain't picking them in fantasy life. That's for damn sure. So that's how we're operating with John Ross. Um, Joe Burrow, you're a rookie, but I still say that you're draftable. I still say that you're draftable. Like if you are just gonna stream defenses and stream uh kickers week to week, it's okay drafting Joe Burrow late. You know, if you miss out on the QBs and you're like, I gotta roll the dice somewhere, risk it to get the biscuit right. You know, light some incense, light some candles, grab a drink, roll one, and just pray for the best and gamble it on Burrow. Look, these NFL offenses, they're NFL level offenses. These are the best athletes, the best football players in the world. They're gonna find a way to put up points. They're gonna find a way to where at least a few of them on this roster, a few of them on this team are gonna be fantasy relevant. Mixon, Boyd. That's what I'm saying that you roll with. D plus, best of C minus. I'm not gonna fail anyone. But other than that, that is the breakdown for the Cincinnati Bengals. Excuse me. Fuck. This is why we are the rawest show on the internet, and I apologize for that. But that is my breakdown of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What it do? You know what? Really quick, again, make sure you guys be on the lookout for more information about our coming promotions with Monkey Knife Fight, and what that will entail and how you can get involved with that. It does look like we are going to have an NFL season, so we're going to keep rolling with the content as if NFL season is going to come because, well, I'm with it. And we don't have shit else to really fucking do, to be honest with you. So be on the lookout for our new promotions coming with Monkey Knife Fight. Definitely download the Sportscaster app on iOS devices, all Apple devices that are in your house, like your iPad, your mom's iPad, dad's iPad, everyone's iPhones. Just go through the house and just download just everywhere that you can. And yeah, be on the lookout for more new, for more new everything. New merch coming on Rumboyz.com. I'm gonna get that up for you guys. I know that you've been seeing those promos by Rumboyz Graphics leaking a design here or there in our Discord server. Make sure you guys get up with us on Discord. I will have that in the description link joint. Yeah. Make sure you get up with us on Rumboyz.com. Check out all the writers. Like all the writers, they are working hard. They're putting out content. UFC 249 fight review coming over on Rumboyz.com. UFC props coming? Yeah. That's going to be a thing, ladies and gentlemen. And the Rumboyz are going to be leading the way through that. Big shout out to Sportscaster.com. Big shout out to Monkey Knife Fight. Big shout out to Thrive Fantasy app. Big shout out to my whole crew over there on Rumboyz.com. And as always, let's go ahead and sign off this show today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been How Fantasy Friendly. We're just going to call this How Fantasy Friendly with your boy Robbie J of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. I love and appreciate all of you. Dilly. See you during the fantasy season!